Hi everybody, it's Lunaya here. I am here today at the request of someone to show you how to dress a candle with herbs and resin. So that's my plan. So I'm going to do a protection spell today, and I'm going to use a black candle to do that. And I use a cloth to dress my candles. So let me get some stuff out of the way here. On one side of my cloth I have herbs, and on the opposite side I have dirts. When I'm working with dirt and herbs, I open up the middle and I use the middle of the cloth. The reason I use a cloth is because it can be washed, and as you can see, it hasn't been in a while. Okay, so today, because I'm doing protection, I could use my protection oil, but I've chosen to use mandrake oil because I want a little extra punch and some more magical power. So that's why I'm using that. So you're going to start off by using some oil on your candle. So you just, whatever method of oil you use, you just rub it all over your candle. Use just a little bit more. You want to get enough of a coating on there that the herbs and resin will stick to it. And my herbs and resin are sitting here in Dorothy, my spoon, who is called Dorothy because that's the name etched into it. It was in there when I purchased it from the second-hand store. And I just put a little bit on my cloth here and kind of spread it out. And then I roll my candle through it, and then I turn it over and I do it again. It doesn't have to be meticulously covered, but I'm kind of a OCD kind of girl. You want to be sure the container you use is extremely fire safe, and you want to be sure you don't rub your hands in between the spell. I use my candle and I put my intention. Remember, when you're putting your intention, to visualize the outcome of what your spell is about. Don't get your oily hands in there. I melt the bottom of my candle to get it to stand up straight in my fire safe container. Doesn't take a lot of wax, just enough to get it to stand up in there. And that's when I wipe my hands off, when I'm done touching my candle. Some candles will leave a residue from the oils. I don't know if you can see that, if it's showing up in the camera or not. Doesn't look like it is. Oh, there you go. Anyway, some candles will leave a color residue. That it's probably a cheap candle or an inexpensive candle. Or cheap might be a better word. Okay. So then I would do my intention again, just to... A lot of people do their intention when they're rubbing the oil in, which isn't a bad thing. I sometimes do that as well. But I like to do it afterwards because all the herbs and everything are in there. Not to say that I didn't do my intention in the herbs as I was grinding, and the resins, because I did. But I kind of like to do it when it's all together. But I'm going to do it again anyway, right quick. And I'm visualizing the outcome again. And then I'm going to put some protection and, well, mostly protection herbs around the outside of the candle. And I'm just doing that because this is a protection spell. Whatever spell it is you're working on, you can use herbs appropriate to that. Because my spell is a protection spell, I'm using herbs appropriate to that. So this is just an herb blend I put together for protection, and I've got herbs all stuck under my fingernails. Okay, I suggest, and this is just my suggestion, not a rule, and It's just what I do, and I again want to state that this is the way I do it and not the way I'm telling you to do it, just the way that I do it. I use a match when I'm lighting a spell candle, and that is just my way of doing things, and that's mainly because that's how I've seen Lady Grave Dancer do it. A lot of this is the way I was taught to do it by Lady Grave Dancer. The using a cloth with my herbs, I actually have been doing for quite a while, but Lady Grave Dancer also does it that way. The match and the circling of the candle I learned from Lady Grave Dancer. So anyway, once you're done setting it all up, you can re-intention your herbs if you like. I have already intentioned this entire jar of herbs for protection, so I don't need to do that again. I'm going to light my candle now, and then we'll talk a little more. Remember to see your outcome as you light your candle. Some people use a symbol at this time, a symbol or a sigil. I do have a symbol I would use normally. In all honesty, my symbol. And then once you're done getting your candle lit and going, if something comes up, say you get a phone call from the school and your son has fallen or your daughter has fallen and they're injured and you have to leave. You don't have a choice, but you have to leave your spell. And you should never leave a candle burning while you're gone from the house, regardless of whether it's in glass or not. You should never leave a candle burning. So let's say that you have to put your spell out. You don't have any other choice. You have to. Now, whether or not you believe in snuffing a candle or blowing a candle or whatever way it is you believe, you have to put your spell out. You don't have any other choice. So you put your spell out. Now, what are you going to do? How do you keep this spell from going bad because you've had to put it out? This I learned from a Lady Grave Dancer as well. So what you would do is you would wait for it to cool off, first of all. I'm just trying to get a hardening on that outside. You would cover this entire spell in a black cloth. Once it's covered, it's null and void. It's not going to go anywhere. It hasn't lost its intention. It hasn't gone away. It's just sitting and waiting for you to come back to it. It's just on hold. When you come back, it's ready to go again. You take your cloth off. You light your candle, which I have pushed the wick down into. That's okay. I'm sure once I get it all melted again, I'll be okay. I'm going to burn my fingernail. You relight your candle and you let your spell go as normal. You can re-intention it, or you can intention it while it's going. Remember to visualize your outcome as your candle is going. That's the main thing for me, is that you visualize your outcome when your candle is going. I'm not going to visualize that I'm being protected. I'm going to visualize that I have been. I can tell you what the spell is about, that I have had a safe journey, that my boxes have been safely delivered, that my company that I'm going with has taken care of my boxes, that nothing has been harmed, nothing has been broken, nothing has come through the move in a bad way. And that's my protection spell today. And trust me, I'll be doing this spell a few more times. And that's what I'm seeing. This is how I'm visualizing that that's already happened. So you visualize the outcome that you are looking for. And then you burn your candle until it's gone. And you remember that resin bubbles. It melts. That's what resin does. So it is going to bubble, and it's going to melt at the bottom of this candle dish. And this candle dish is very fire safe. But if you use, say, a mirror, it's going to break your mirror. is going to get too hot for a mirror. It's going to get too hot for some plates. So you need to make sure whatever you're using is very, very fire safe, because it's going to bubble, it's going to melt, and you just need to be very fire safe and fire conscious. And remember, you are all divine, sacred beings of light and love, and I appreciate you joining me. I hope this answers your question and you know who you are. And please have a very safe and loving night. Sleep well and sweet dreams.